front to the back now.
Bring it back to the
Switch it. Yeah. Make a building collapse, drop the bomb, bomb, bomb. Bring it like that. Bring it like that.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Yavinbase stream. We're here, we're about to ready to preview Invader League Season 4 for you all. I'm gonna go ahead and turn down the music here. And we're gonna hop on over into our overlay for the actual show itself. If I can just find it, there are so many overlays. So many overlays. TalkPolite, you are live. Welcome, sir.
Hey,
can you hear me? Yes.
back,
All right.
yes.
If you're out there, in Streamland, please let us know if the audio is working for you, if the video's good. We just want to know if anything is going wrong. Please tell us. We don't always see every error. We don't always see the sum total of the output. One last note: if you are on Facebook, please like the post related to the show, share it with whoever you think might be interested, because we just need to get more and more people into the stream. So that's all we'll say about that. Greetings, TalkPolite. Welcome to the show. Please tell us a little bit about who you are and what Invader League is.
All right. Well, again, good to be back. Excited to actually be in visual form this time. We are all ready to go finally. There's a couple little things on the back end that I mentioned earlier that need a bit of tweaking, but for the most part, the season is ready to roll. I've got a Dr. Pepper here to and I do have an Uncrustable, if anybody asks.
An Uncrustable, you say?
And we are ready to roll this wonderful Friday. So we're here to talk about the Invader League. We're here to do the pre-show for the Invader League. If you're, seeing this on Facebook or somewhere else and you're not sure what you're getting yourself into, the Invader League is a tabletop simulator tournament that we have been running since the first week that the game came out. The way the Invader League works is you have a group stage, also known as the round robin, where you're placed in a group of 6 players, and then you play everybody head-to-head until the top 2 from the group remain. So that's the top 2 by win-loss, and then objective points, and then finally head-to-head. Objective points is simply the difference between your opponent's objective score and your score that you earned. And so at the end of the round robin, the players will have an opportunity to move on to the single elimination. As I said, 2 from each group will move on. And then they'll go on and they'll play for about another month or so. And when you're eliminated, you're out until only 1 person is remaining. So in total, the league takes about 2 months to complete. And we usually give away between $700–800 worth of prizes every season. So there are some considerable things on the line, but at the same time, it's a great opportunity to bring kind of a wider community together without having to spend $1,000 on a plane ticket and book a hotel.
Right. I mean, so like international field, right? We're divided into sections: U.S., Australia, Europe. But it's one of the widest fields possible in Legion. It's one of the highest stakes tournaments because of the huge value of the prize pool. I mean, relative to some other tournaments that you and I've been to. Um, so you created the league. Do you want to quickly talk about who else is responsible? I mean, of course, we need to start with Tyrion because Tyrion's the guy that made the mod. But you want to talk about your just briefly your team behind there, just to introduce who you are and what your roles are, and then we'll move on into the recap of the third season.
Sure. Yeah. It is oversaid, but it does definitely take a village to make this product. Season 1 was Magoats and Tyrion talking to each other and be like, hey, we want to run a tournament on Tabletop Simulator because we have this great resource and let's do things to bring, the community together. And I was like, well, I've ran some tournaments before, so, sure, I'll give it a try. And, it turned into this, originally this 40-person tournament to now we have a total of over 200 people that have signed up for this season. Now, unfortunately, only 144 of those are going to compete because I do like to keep some, backups in case people drop during the course of the season. But overall, it's a pretty huge event that does take a lot of hands. So we have a lot of people that have contributed this season. Tyrion, who you mentioned before, is the mod's creator, but we now actually have a GitHub and we have a foundation team. It's called the TTS Foundation. They're actually responsible now for the health and the running of the mod. So that team very quickly expanded to a much larger group of people. We have a project manager. We have, somebody that's responsible for the development and taking the lead on that. That's Decaf, and Alderon Moses, who helped me with the website for Invader, is the one that is now kind of the overall project lead. You also have other names such as Mitherkin and Nash J that are helping out as well. And so they're all coming together to bring the health of the mod up to a level that, people expect when they see it. They want it to be the best mod in the store, and they make sure it is.
Well, I think
On top of that,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, no, please. I was just gonna say I think we're in their capable hands.
Yes,
please go on.
I'm so happy that Tyrion has support because he is an extremely busy guy, and before he made this mod, he hadn't done any type of like coding or any work in this field, and he was able to create again what a lot of people regard as one of the best mods on Tabletop Simulator. And so with him having the Patreon and now this team to support him, we can continue to update the mod as more things are added every single month and kind of address the health and create maps and do everything we need to be successful. So it's been great kind of seeing that project expand and grow. On top of that, you also have streamers that are helping us out. They've helped us out for the last couple of seasons, but Darkling, he is kind of herding those cats together this season to bring you streaming services once again so you can watch the Invader League along the way. And then we also have a large number of sponsors, which I think we're probably going to go through later,
Yes.
that also contributed to running this thing. So
we'll make sure to fully credit the streamers and credit the judges as well. We're going to talk a little bit about our staffs in those departments, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure you have enough slides to keep everybody busy for an hour.
Oh yeah, at your behest, sir. I'll tell you that much.
So yeah, we'll get there. But between the crew running the mod, the judges that help me make the decisions and keep the groups in line, the streamers that help let you see what's going on, it really does take a large group of people to make this kind of tournament work. And as always, the community has responded in such a positive way. It makes me happy to be in this position to help bring this tournament.
I got a question for you, TalkPolite.
Go for it.
Is the bracket challenge making a return?
The bracket challenge is indeed making a return this season. And now that we are increasing the size of the field, we are going from a 32-person to a 48-person single elimination. So last season, we did a couple prizes. We gave away a boss, we gave away Sabine, and we also did kind of a fun prize for the person who had the worst bracket. You will see a return, and you will more than likely see a show. I believe that is also going to be hosted by Dark, where we're going to go ahead and we are going to do an official bracket reveal once again, just like we did with the groups here. And the reason why that's special is because in previous seasons, I had always made that very public so people could follow along and see who had earned a qualifier spot, but not this season. This season, we're going to keep it close to the chest so we could do like a formal reveal, kind of like you would do for like college basketball.
I'm going to kind of keep us guessing until the round robin stage is over.
Uh-huh.
So we switched overlays here. We're now in the bracket challenge from last season. What do we want to talk about with recapping this this last season here. We know that Orchimedes was the champion at going 5-0 in the bracket, of course, and I believe did he suffer one defeat in round robin, or did no? He was undefeated the entire season. That's right. This was his
Yes, he was
his miracle season with Empire, where he went 10 undefeated games.
Yep. That was kind of the cool thing that he was able to do last season was he had not put Imperials kind of like officially on the table in a tournament and basically had a perfect run with his 5 victories in the round robin. And I think it was 5 further victories in the single elimination. So basically a perfect 10-0 run, which had, I don't think that ever had quite happened in that same capacity at that size. I'm pretty sure Davis in Tower Number 9 in season 1 had done something similar where he basically ran the whole table, and then he did win again in season 2, but I don't think he quite had the same deep run, whereas Orc was able to pull it off this season, or this past season. So yeah, we had a great top 4 last season. We had Orchimedes, who took the whole thing. We had Beefcake, who came in a very close second, and then Luke Cook took third in that one. So
Yeah,
it was a very tight top field.
I love the designation for Luke Cook. Maybe next time, because as most of us know, he went on to become the world champion.
Yeah, if you had looked back at the time and saw his 3-2 record, you were like, "Oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. That's not really what I expect." And note that this happened right after um, Adepticon, but right before Worlds is when it ended. So it was. I think I was like looking at it, I was like, "Huh, I didn't really expect that out of Luke." But then of course he, went pretty far in the single elimination.
Right. I mean, Luke
stole our hearts in the end of the day.
Luke got knocked out by Orchimedes on the way up. So I mean, I think that's
Mhm.
part of the reason is that he's kind of just stepped in front of the freight train that is Orchimedes a really good play.
Yeah, there were a lot
Beefcake,
of really great matches in the end
there
there.
were.
And I think, were you about to mention the run that Beefcake had to
I
do to?
was it double bounty, right? It was double
Yes,
bounty.
I
Yeah,
believe
so
so.
yeah, so he was the one I think that really he didn't popularize it, but I know that he started with it and kind of ran with it the whole time. I don't think he ever deviated from double bounty.
No, I don't think so. And his run was particularly fun to watch because he beat Ben from Team Relentless. He beat Ellis. He beat Sploosh. Then he beat Nikki. And then he lost to Orc in the final. So when you look at his run, it originally looked like Orc had one of the hardest runs, but you got to kind of respect the run that Beefcake had to do to get there. And he was so close to finish. So he's definitely on my watch list for this season as somebody that I think is once again going to make a splash and probably another deep run in the tournament.
Yeah, I'm almost certain. And I mean, almost I don't recognize a single name on this list that isn't back for the next season. So it's going to be all these and more. There might be a couple missing. I don't know whom, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna wager that out of the 32 players on this list, at least 30 are back.
Yeah,
For
I think
season
I'm
4.
seeing 2, maybe 3 that aren't returning to us. I don't know if Ripus Master was able to join us again from Brazil. And I don't know if there's 1 or 2 people near the bottom of the bracket on Orc side that I don't think is returning. But for the most part, the return rate from last season was very, very strong. The number of U.S. entries alone could have ran season 3 by themselves. So we had a huge return, especially from those areas, and we were actually able to break out and the AS region, kind of the Australia bracket as it's known, was able to expand even further as well, and now they're their own division. So
Yep.
really, really great growth across the board.
Yeah, there's no longer a combined Australia Europe. It's now, we're going to find out more about it in the US in the group reveal later on in the show. But I think now it's going to be 2 European and 3 Australian divisions. So I mean,
Yeah, other way around. 3
other way
Europe,
around.
2
Okay, thank you.
Australia.
Yes,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep.
Okay, but I mean, the old overarching point is just we're seeing growth, and that's really really good for the health of the game, the state of the game,
Yeah,
and of
to
course for
go
your league.
from 96 last season to 144
Yeah,
this season, I mean, that growth is very.
yeah. I mean, I think it's a start of a trend, or not the start, but maybe just a continuation of a trend. Invader League had huge growth from 1 to 2. Team League had double from 1 to 2, and now Invader League is approaching double, or at least 50% growth. some huge amount of growth between seasons, and so that's just positive for the game as a whole.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, so moving on from here, we're going to talk about the judging staff. So let's go ahead and roll in there. Your marshal for season 4 is Davis Kingsley. And
Ooh. Oh, sorry.
oh,
I don't know who did
did
that.
you boo him? Oh man.
Just kidding.
Here,
We love each other.
you talk. My camera for you is not quite correct.
All right, no problem. I'll give you a sec to throw me around. So we have Kingsley once again returning as our marshal, our chief judge. He's responsible for making sure all the other judges, if they have questions that are above their pay grade, can be answered, and just also responsible for kind of generally the health of the league, which is a very important role to have. I don't actually believe Kingsley is going to be assigned any groups to manage this time. If you haven't already noticed, we really expanded our judge crew this time around. I believe we nearly doubled the size of the groups from last time, the judges from last time. And so we have Davis that is in charge of the entire thing. He'll be the marshal. And then we also have Nima Nashe, who's coming back because I believe he was a judge. So yeah, last season was his first. Orchimedes is returning. You're returning. We have a new EU judge, Finn. And then we also have Garnanana returning. Ellis is returning. Ghost Walking is new. Master of the Force Luke is new to help us with that Australia group. Comrade Artem is new as well, as is Granite Wolthron. And last but not least, Sploosh. We're looking for you to round out the bottom there. So yeah, the number of judges is a great increase because I wanted the judges to be able to focus on 2 groups each instead of three groups each, which they did last season. So hopefully they'll be able to give you kind of more point-to-point help if you need it. But then if your judge isn't available and you need like a resolution right away, you can also reach out to any of these judges if they're around.
All right. So I wanted to just give some credits before we move on. Finn, I believe, won the... Was it the German GT that happened recently? I forget the name of the event.
He won UK Nationals.
UK Nationals, okay. So he won UK Nationals. And then Luke, of course, Master of the Force is their Legion channel on YouTube. So they do a lot of battle report content, a lot of Legion content over there with very nicely painted models. Really great camera work that Ken does for them. Yep. And then, of course, Thrawn with the Jetta Journal. That's his Legion blog as well. And, of course, Sploosh representing Team Burger. We couldn't get out of this cast without mentioning Team Burger.
Well, and I believe Sploosh also won Northeast Open, right?
Yes, of course. Gosh, how could I forget? He won the Northeast Open. Yeah, derp.
Not gonna forget about you, Sploosh. Sploosh.
All right, so there's all the Sploosh love that I have to give. Now we're gonna move on. It's over, Sploosh. All right, so let's talk streaming crew. So, as you mentioned earlier, Darkling, all these addresses are at Twitch TV, by the way. These are all the Legion streamers. There's a pretty large list of Legion streamers. These are all people who have channels that are going to, from time to time, cast games of Star Wars Legion from the round-robin stage, and possibly from single elimination, depending on who gets it first. It's generally just been a first-come, first-serve sort of situation when it comes to broadcasting. But Darkling has been the guy who's been sort of pushing us to, approach us as a group, herding the cats, as you said. And so folks can read all the names. You got Darkling at /Darkling. Yourself, TalkPolite, as the official Invader League channel on twitch.tv/Invader League. You got the channel you're tuning into now is definitely going to be a casting games. Yavinbase. Kingsley, of course, at Tower number 9 with his excellent commentary. The Stabcast crew actually has 2 channels, the official Stabcast channel at SW Stabcast, and Tim's channel at Timitation Irish. And then you got Nerfly, who designed a bunch of maps for this season and has just been an all-around help for the Invader and just been a really strong part of the team. He streams at /Nerfly, and then you've got R1H4, Mbueha, and Zyconia, who all stream at Twitch channels, just their names. And they do their own streaming from time to time. But last but not least, if you want your game streamed, it's a great way to see where your faults are and a great way to relive glorious victory. You can post in the Looking for Streamer channel on the Legion Discord and just make it public that you are interested in having your game casted, and chances are one of these people is going to come and say, hey, I would love to stream your game, I'd love to cast and commentate.
Yeah, the goal is to get as many games streamed as we possibly can. We're always trying to grow this crew as well. So if you are streaming and you are interested in helping out with the streaming, Darkly would be your point of contact for that. So he has done a really good job of coordinating everybody. And last season, the thing that he did that was really helpful was he was constantly updating a schedule of what games are being streamed. And that was very useful. So I assume we're going to see kind of a resurgence of that, and that's going to get even better over time as our systems kind of increase. I think a long term goal for the streaming as well is to get a little button on the website that will go live every time one of these streamers is streaming. And so I'm hoping that over time we'll be able to kind of expand our facilities and we'll be able to make this, really a very focal and very important part of what we do here in the Invader League because we appreciate the streamers helping out in their own way because it really gets that visual out to the entire world and not just to the US crowd, but to all the various crowds out there. And like you mentioned earlier, it's great to go back and be able to watch your match and be like, oh, that's how I messed up. I'm never going to do that again. And that's a tool that, like, for myself, I don't really get a lot of games in, and if I can get a match stream, that's a way for me to avoid making mistakes later because I know I can throw that in on the background if I'm just like working on something, painting miniatures or whatever. Yep.
Was our streaming crew breakdown? And sorry, I was muted there for a second. Here comes the flood of emoticons.
Oh
Oh
no!
no. Okay,
I know
so
I'm using push to talk too, so if
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking and nothing's coming out,
I do
please yell
the
at
I
me.
do the same thing when I'm. It's worse because I hit the L key and that unlocks terrain in the mod and like things go flying. When you accidentally unlock terrain, then sometimes you have to rewind the damn game. Excuse
Hmm.
me. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and flip over into the map walkthrough. We have a TTS client opened, and we're gonna switch over to the overlay here. All right, everything's looking mighty fine, I hope. There we go. We have the mod open, and we're going to let's just go through the maps as we get through here. Let's go ahead and start with Hoth. Let's do Hoth. We have a number of Clone Wars planets that we're going to get to, but we want to see what Nerfly's got cooking on Hoth over here. Let's
Oh, let's
see.
cook it on Hoth.
What's cooking on Hoth?
You could
Some
say that the cooking is a little lukewarm.
a little lukewarm, exactly. A little tauntaun meat.
Sorry.
Lukewarm tauntaun meat. All right. So this is Hoth K10 is the name of this map.
Yeah, I'm actually really stoked for Hoth. Hoth was a season one, and I think we might have even made it a season two map as well. So Hoth is making a resurgence. We really wanted to capture Clone War stuff and original trilogy because this is both of them now together as one with all four groups together, all four armies together. K10 was something I kind of came up with at the last second. That was actually the name of the retreat plan that was signaled to start the rebel retreat during the Battle of Hoth. And so K10
Oh.
holds a special place in my heart. That's why it looks like this kind of, crowded area that everybody's going to try to leave from, this battle scene that the rebels, iconically retreat from in the movie. And as you are looking at on the map, there are a couple new things if you'd like to point them out.
That Crash T-47's got me excited.
Mm-hmm.
Say that much. That looks really good, Nerfly.
Yeah, so the Crash T-47, that is a personal favorite that we were able to throw in. I'm very excited to see, even though it's a side piece, I'm excited to see how and if it gets used. There are opportunities to use that thing. Long March and Disarray come to mind, so I'm sure we'll see it played. And at the very least, it's going to look pretty. And you also might have noticed that some of the trenches are a little different than they've been in the past. Some of those were really, really tall compared to the troopers that were walking around on the map. And so what we did was we kind of shrunk them a little bit, and we did kind of change the way that they generally work. So now they're not so line of sight blocking. And overall, this actually makes this one of the more open maps out of the five. And again, that is intended. We did want to have a general variety of maps because you can change during the round robin. You're not locked into a map or a list, and you can change from map to map to map. We wanted to, kind of provide something that would challenge kind of the creative muscles there.
No, it's interesting because I noticed that in your or in the terrain description, it tells us that you have to be fully within the trench to actually get cover. I'm noticing this now. You
Mhm.
can't just hide them. So I remember on the old like Mimban, you could hide your troopers like with their bases right up against the edge of the trench, and it would grant them cover. So this would not give them cover. They would have to be fully
Exactly.
within. All the minis would have to be inside the trench to get cover. So that was definitely going to
Yes.
tax some of their
So
cohesion.
it's very similar to like the craters that you're used to playing with on maps. Basically, as long as you have enough members in the squad to get the bonus from that piece of terrain, then you will get it. But just having it purely block some of your line of sight is not enough because it was purposely made just under half of the troopers height. So make sure that you're always checking those tooltips because there's a lot of little things like that might be slightly different. Remember that even though you might see some of the same models from map to map to map, that you always want to check those tooltips to make sure you understand how the map is supposed to work. It helps create some variety on Tabletop Simulator, so you're not confused when you jump from map to map to map. We do that on purpose because we want to make sure that we can do the most with the limited amount of terrain that we have in the mod at this time.
Yeah, Hoth was one of those tile sets that was a little bit difficult at first. Mostly for the lack of light cover, but I think what's been done here is actually excellent, and using the cargo crates, making them lighter than normal. And I see you've got the AAT there.
Hmm. I know a lot of people are going to be worried about where these tanks and where these new vehicles and even the old vehicles like the Occupier, how are they going to work on this map? Nerfly did take a lot of care to make sure that these big ass bases can move around this map. So I promise you, if you're a little worried about playing vehicles on these maps, scout them out yourself beforehand so you can kind of figure out the most optimal movement routes. Don't be that person who learns the details of this map during the game. Scout it out beforehand, and I promise you, he put a lot of work into making sure all of your models are going to work no matter what you choose.
And that's one of the biggest advantages I think of this league. Also, is that now that if the maps are in the mod, you can do such scouting, and if you need to tweak your list.
Hmm.
There's no reason not to bring a list that doesn't function unless you just haven't done your homework, I think.
Yep. And all of these maps, by the way, should be uploaded by Sunday at the end of the day. You might see them squeak in on Monday, depending on when Tyrion actually puts them in. But the final update of the mod will be coming either Sunday or Monday morning, which is okay because it doesn't actually kick off till Monday anyway. So you'll be able to start scheduling your games, and hopefully we get a lot of games done during this first week, so it doesn't catch you at the end and you have to rush.
Oh yeah. Only need 3 of 6 in the trench? I'm pretty sure you need... Is it at least half? No.
Yeah, so
Oh yeah.
it does work the same way as I said, like the craters, where if you have at least half of them in the terrain, yes, you do count as getting cover from that terrain. I know it's when you look at it,
Okay,
it does
okay.
have that as long as they are fully within, but
Yeah.
don't get too caught up on that language. It's the same thing as like a blast crater.
So this is still legal right here. What the way I've got it here with these veterans, they would still be getting heavy cover from this trench.
Yeah, we don't want to because especially with like B1s, trying to use these trenches would be a nightmare. So that's what
Yeah.
we were trying.
I was gonna say, like, if you were a separatist, I mean, good luck.
Yeah, and so as actually we have some of our map designers that are talking on the chat right now. What they're trying to say is that yes, the trench is sunk into the ground, but we don't quite have that full flexibility with Tabletop Simulator. Yes, so don't worry. It is a visual, bit of a theater of the mind thing, but that's
Yeah.
one of the great opportunities we have in TTS is to bring you those interesting thematic things. And hey, we're here explaining it to you for a reason.
Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next map. I actually have to reload the environment because we deleted the
Yeah.
cartridges on accident. Whoops.
Yep. And when you load a map, I think there actually is a little cue card that'll be on the red player side of the table where you can actually, yeah, if you look there, there's a little cue card you might actually.
Greetings from the map team. So I'll read this out for the chat. Happy Invader League Season 4. I know I speak on behalf of everyone on the map team for this season when I say thanks for giving us this opportunity. We look forward to watching the battles of this season rage across the maps below. Good luck, everyone, and may the force be with you, Nerfly. Well, thank you, Nerfly, for said greeting. That was
That hits
very
me right
heartfelt.
here. That hits me right here, Brad.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so
Yeah. And
we're
now I'm
gonna...
going to say behalf.
Sorry, go ahead.
So now I'm going to say Behalf because there was a slight spelling mistake on that card. But anyway, we won't draw attention to that for too long. Bring us to the... He was too busy making the maps awesome.
Yeah,
all right.
way too busy.
Spelling errors are allowed. All right, so we're on our next map.
Yep.
We are on Ryloth, I believe, correct?
Yes, Ryloth, the Liberation of Nabat.
Okay, so you guys, you're going to see this centerpiece, and I want to make sure you understand that we tried to make this centerpiece as flexible as humanly possible. Yes, there are 2 large walls in the center. So as I mentioned before, make sure you take a little bit of time to associate yourself with that map, because if you look at these walls, the wall itself, the bottom part is height 1, but to actually get over the top and over that lip, that is height 2 to get over the lip, where the ledge is height 1. So make sure you take some time to look at this and understand how that terrain works, because this one is a very fun, very thematic map, but there are little things that might catch you if you're not careful. So that center wall outpost deal is one of the big pitfalls that I want to make sure nobody gets caught on when you could have looked at this and known how it works. But also, if you look at these guard towers, they are also height 2 objects, and that's good to know for characters like Boba, or if you're maybe trying to get up something quickly with General Grievous. You want to keep stuff like that in mind as well. And again, we were keeping theme in mind with this one. You've got the crashed gunship that you can try to fight around, and I think there probably is going to be some intercept or maybe key position battles that are going to be focused around that area. You've got the sandbag emplacement in the middle. You've got piles of cargo crates all over the place. Just a ton of life that was thrown into this map. And one of the things that the mod crew wanted us to remember was that the buildings were provided by Dave from Imperial Terrain, and so we had a lot of help this season from the people that make STL files that were able to directly contribute to some of the creations that you're seeing in front of you. We have a very, very, very special Naboo map that you will see for the final games.
People saying I was muted again.
Oh,
terrible!
Well, hopefully,
terrible.
I was able to take care of most of
you.
that.
You did. All right. So I wanted to just point out also some of the new assets here. These scrubland trees are looking amazing. The savanna type, scrub desert sort of terrain.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lat gunship, the crash here. We've seen this before, but still, it's just a great piece. And the way that Nerfly's got it angled makes it a very, very fine piece of heavy cover to work with in the backfield here. But I'm looking forward to some battles on Ryloth. It's going to be really fun, and again, a lot of potential for vertical gameplay with the jump units. And this map is definitely a kind of 3-lane style map, because you got these
Mm-hmm.
hills on the sides. You can try to assault the main entrance to whatever territory you're trying to get to. But
Yeah, I hope you liked
playing.
What is it? I hope you like playing League of Legends or Dota.
Yeah, League of Legends or Dota. Yeah, kind of. It reminds one of such things.
Oh, Nerfly has a very special point that he wants to add on, and I thank you for reminding us. Okay, so as people know, Invader League is a very large tournament, and maybe sometimes the people above are listening to some of the precedents that this league has set. And that's not a terrible guess to make when you consider the role that I myself have had in running some of the tournaments that happen this calendar year. And one of the things that we have done that we are pushing this season, if you take a look and you hover over these ladders, which I believe you're doing for us, you will gain scale. So we very purposely try to encourage the use of this vertical terrain by bending some of these ladder rules just a little to make them more flexible and more usable for the player. So again, make sure you scout these maps out, because there might be little features like that I'd hate for you to miss and not take advantage of. That'll make it much easier for units to get to the top of that terrain and actually be able to do something.
So let me see if I can walk myself through this, right? So let's say I'm a trooper leader and I'm starting my activation in contact here. Does that mean I can clamor, and then get my move from scale?
So yes, you would take a free scale and then go up to level 1, quote unquote, then take another scale, and just like General Grievous, exactly be able to take a move action after that as well.
I see.
And then if you're something like snow troopers, you could potentially also then take your shot from relentless.
Right, you would get a steady shot from the top here.
Oh, sorry, relentless. So steady, not relentless.
Steady, yes, but I mean relentless. Yeah, I mean it's same thing, kind of. But yeah, I mean this is going to be pretty sick. The ability to scale on ladders is going to make the gameplay a lot more dynamic. I think it's going to change a lot of the givens that we've had with ladders, like, and increase their kind of range, so to speak, and make it so that single trooper minis are going to have a much easier time maneuvering up and down elevations, and it also kind of helps distinguish them from creature troopers in that way.
Right, and we really don't want these climb and clamber actions that feel like they've been punishments in the past to feel like they're punishments anymore. We want people to feel like vertical movement is something that's a little easier.
Now, here's an interesting question that Thomas brings up. Can you get the clamor if you start not in contact?
Because that's exactly how scale works. So if you would move and then touch it and gain scale, yes, you would immediately be granted the effects of scale, even if it came after a move. And I do believe Nerf League confirms that for us.
So I could move clamor and then clamor move with scale.
Basically, yeah.
That's really
Welcome
really cool.
To everybody's General Grievous.
Yeah, basically everyone becomes Grievous when they have a ladder to work with, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, and this is a change that I think a lot of us would like to see to the wider game as well. So perhaps somebody out there on high is listening and can kind of take note of how this goes. And please, if you do like and enjoy these effects, make sure you include them in your game report when you report it on the website.
All right, well, that's Ryloth. We're going to go ahead and roll over to the third map here. We're going to try to maybe speed this along a little bit because we've got a lot more to talk about.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So much more to talk.
I blame me.
That is okay. It's not nothing with you, man. I'm lingering too. These are so cool. I love seeing them all. Let's fly to Tatooine.
All right. So again,
Tatooine?
We are going to return to another classic location this season. Of course, the Tatooine map. That again, we have a special set of buildings from, I believe it's Low Country Craft Shop, which is an Etsy shop. They were able to provide. Yes, they're one of the newer sponsors this season. They actually just added on, and they're also those guys that are providing that Naboo terrain I was talking about. We haven't previously had these square, tall buildings before, and we had a lot of what Dave brought us from Imperial Terrain, and so we were able to kind of meld the two on this map and create a very dense, very busy city center. And so this one is going to get close and it's going to get personal. So hopefully you bring your flamers and you bring your melee units because this one's going to get nuts.
I love these short wall style barricade looking things. They look really nice, especially back here with they have that long smooth wall, and they've got this this interesting kind of courtyard shape with a little curl there, kind of curly Q, little golden mean kind of thing going on there.
Yeah, and depending on the size of your models, that's actually something you can see over as well.
Right, so like if you're a kneeling mini, probably not, but if you're a standing trooper, definitely. And yeah, I mean, you can see the corridors get real tight when you zoom in through the doors here.
Oh, Ben says, looking forward to being confused by playing Vaporators on this map. Yep, though that always happens with the map that we have the Vaporators naturally on. So please enjoy that confusion. Courteously provided you by Nerf League. And then we did have another question about the ladders. I do believe all of the ladders across all the maps do grant that same scale effect. So always check the ladders to be sure, because whatever is on the map is kind of your gospel. But I did check a ladder out when you asked that. And yes, that does indeed work that way.
Go ahead and fix that map name real quick.
Oh, yeah, no problem. So what do we call this one? Did you say
Scum and Villainy?
Okay, yeah, Scum and Villainy. So nice and easy to remember. Scum and Villainy is the name of our Tatooine map. But really, I think we're good to move on to the next one.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave that up for just a little bit, maybe take another pass through. Then we'll.
And you know what?
The next one. These I love these little buildings too.
Really quick.
Oh yeah, spawn that tank. Let's see. Let's check out.
Yes.
Let's check out the tank.
So that was one question that came up very automatically from the preview is, are you going to be able to move the heavier vehicles through this? Now, if you watch Rogue One, you know bringing a tank in a city fight probably isn't the best idea. But once again, Nerfly did make sure that we can use those vehicles in this scenario. As you can very plainly see when we put the AAT right there,
It's
you
like
can indeed move it right up the street, and that is partially because of the rules surrounding vehicles like this. You can go over little stuff like this, and so that will allow it to kind of traverse the center of this battlefield.
it's definitely going to be close quarters. I could definitely foresee some grenades being very useful against vehicles like these, but that is sort of thematic, and I love it that the height of the AAT gives you some extra vision as well. It's rather tall, and I mean the same could be said for the ATST. It's small, slightly smaller base, definitely giving you that elevation to let you see over these sort of low-lying buildings. But the Occupier, of course, does not have that same benefit.
Yeah, the Occupier is built like, like a classic World War II kind of hunter-killer tank where it's got like that low profile, and I think you're gonna enjoy seeing that thing sneak through the streets on this. It's gonna be tight, but again, that's the risk of kind of locking down a lane like that thing does. And here, I'll go ahead and throw it on this street so you can kind of see that, yes, that indeed is going to fit there, and it'll be able to go right down that street. And for those of you that are willing to bring that ATST, oh yeah, this boy's gonna see right over that
Yeah, he's
object
gonna
right
see
there.
plenty.
Yep. So
He is
that's gonna
chill.
get messy.
You know what? I want you to rule on this right now. Can this thing walk on top of these buildings?
Take a look at the tooltip.
Look at how low they are. What does it say? Minis with greater than size 3 treat this as difficult terrain. And is the ATST greater than size 3?
It's 5, yes.
Oh my goodness, so the ATST can actually
Oh,
difficult
this is
walk
gonna get spicy.
on these buildings if it wanted to. That is crazy. If you have a big mini, you can float up there. It just slows down by 1.
So somebody asking about the archway and the occupier, if you actually look at it from kind of the above angle here, I do believe the base looks like it might just be the exact size of the
Yeah.
archway.
You might be able to fit if you nail it right
Okay,
through
so
there.
Nerfly is telling us no.
No?
ATRT base are smaller, but I don't know, man. That is a tight fit. That might be doable, but at the same time, I'm willing to take
Yeah.
his advice on that one, given his role
Okay,
in creating.
so this is a no with the occupier moving through the archway.
Okay, but good to know.
Okay, gotcha.
So, but again, that's why we encourage people to go look at these maps and go, play with your list on it a little to see how everything fits. Very important.
Right.
Yes, we're gonna plug that hole. I said that.
Yeah. Yes, you did say that. All right, so that is going to be Scum and Villainy. I got to say one last thing about this. It kind of reminds me of what's that city from Morrowind? A little bit of Balmora vibe.
Oh yeah.
Just a little bit.
I can dig.
A little bit of Balmora. All right, we're gonna go ahead and let's get these off of here so we can go to the next map without deleting them.
Yep.
All right, so the next map. Let me go ahead and save this again, just to unload it. TTS screaming at me as I do this. All right, we got Geonosis. Here comes Geonosis, the Badlands of, I can't even say that. The Badlands of Unpronounceable.
Yeah, I'm not going to pronounce that. You guys in the audience be my guest because we came up with a fun name for that one.
Nagazi? I don't know how to say it.
Oh, can you make those clicky noises that the Geonosins can make? I think that's what you have to do.
Yeah. The only click noise I know how to do is Boss Nass. It's the only one I know how to do.
All right, go on. We're waiting. Awesome.
Me so like this.
All right. So I did actually bring the last vehicle on for us to see as well. The Saber tank. You can see how that guy fits in on here too. Much lower profile, but still that same big base. All right. So take a look at this one. We did a special effect for this one. It is a rolling fog effect. So we do actually have a super fancy setup on this one. You've got a little layer of fog that rolls over this one because again, we really wanted to do some cool thematic things that would only be available with dry ice if we were playing on this in real life.
Sploosh saying come for the maps, stay for the voice acting. It is so good. Like, I think everybody's gonna have a ton of fun with it.
Yeah,
Ah,
no,
for
I'm
goodness sake,
really
I got muted
excited to
again.
see.
Thank you. Ah.
Oh no.
It's because I'm trying to do the overlay, and when I hit my push to talk, it like screws up. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna turn push to talk off because that's probably just gonna be the best thing to do. Here,
Sounds
so
good.
now you'll all get to hear my keyboard clicks as I type
Yay.
and my mouse clicks.
All right, so
Sweet.
you've got a couple features I want to make sure we point out on this one. If you go to that crater in the center of the map for me, David, you can see a destroyed droideka that is in pieces. So you've got quite a mess there in the center. We actually made sure to include some droid parts so you can kind of see
Is it
the wreckage.
is it a destroyed droideka? Is it
It
perhaps a
is.
destroideka?
It is a destroideka. Oh, I'm gonna go somewhere else now.
Okay.
And then they also have the advanced spider droid that's there as well. That is another fun piece for you to enjoy as you look around this map. And again,
I love it.
we really wanted this map to to capture that moment where the dust is rolling on the battlefield and the two forces are converging. So if you have a separatist versus Grand Army of the Republic game on this map, please make sure you get it streamed because man, is that going to look so thematic! I can't wait.
Yeah, this thing just nails it for theme. It is so good. And actually, we're gonna play this map during the Learn to Play, and I'm gonna be playing Republic. So we'll see.
Awesome. Well, that'll look good.
We'll see how that all looks. But I'm so looking forward to playing on this map and seeing it played by other people. Okay, the final map, the wildest I think submission here of all of our maps, and it's a doozy. And I think this was done today, right? Completed today, if I
It
recall.
was completed today because Ellis, who was the primary map maker on this one, had a little bit of internet problems, but he was able to complete it. Gentlemen, take your shrooms, light up, look what you got. This is going to be the fanciest,
Yep.
neonest map you've ever seen. Welcome to the Acklay Graveyard.
Yes.
Yep. So as you can see, the ground is quite bright. It actually is a little brighter than you might remember from the movies. But again, we really wanted to kind of push the edge of what the system can do and bring you a real treat as far as when you look at this map and you see it, you'll remember this map down the road. There's a lot of different there's a lot of stuff going on this map between the large plants, you've got the rock formations, you've got the new dead Acklay model. I mean, there's so much going on that you can look at. So take a look. Tell me what you think.
It looks so good. I mean, there's the bright green and the purples and all of this stuff. It's definitely like beyond what you'd normally expect. It looks so good for like an alien world, you know.
We really wanted something that was so different than the others, that you would remember it for seasons to come. And so I feel like Ellis really did a good job of kind of capturing that thing that we were looking for. And at the same time, we were able to put some new assets in there. We got the fun colored grass. That is a reused asset, but we've also got the Acklay corpse right there in the center. Again, can't wait for people to fight over that. The large plants, the plant clusters that are these weird neon green ones. I mean, there's just so much good stuff. And again, we really do want to encourage people to use the high terrain as well. And so you might notice there are some ladders around this map as well that also do grant scale. Again, really encouraging people to use that tall terrain and fire from new angles that you usually don't use in Legion games.
I got another one for you, TalkPolite. You ready for this one? Shrooms and ladders. We're gonna play.
All right.
We're gonna play
If
shrooms and ladders on this one.
if you must, I've
If I
tortured you
must.
enough.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So we got ladder shrooms. We got like you say, this awesome Acklay, the purple grass. It looks fantastic. And I mean, it's some people say it's like I mean, Ben was saying you give a seizure warning, but I think it's still pretty good. It's not that grating on the eyes. You just have to get used to it a little bit. It's a bit of an acquired taste. But I gotta
Yeah,
say
definitely.
this test battle tank is looking sweet, and I can just picture it, right, the droids and the clones fighting it out on this battlefield. I think Alice has done a good job capturing sort of the essence of what this terrain is about.
Yep, and when you get down to the ground level and you start looking at this map, not only do you have those kind of tall pieces that I pointed out that you can use, but there also are some very distinct firing lanes as well. So, by the looks of it, you are going to have pretty great coverage as your forces converge. And at the same time, you've also got some pretty decent line of sight blocking pieces that will allow you to get stuff like Wookiees and Force users in range to do their real damage. So again, really looking forward to see how this one plays out. I cannot wait to schedule my game on it.
Kulki says midichlorians is heroin. Okay.
Sure.
Sure. Okay. I don't know, man. But dude, I gotta say, Map Crew, Nerfly, Ellis, Nash G, and am I forgetting anybody? No. But Nerfly, Ellis, and Nash G have just done a phenomenal job with all of these. And
Yeah.
I am looking forward to playing and casting on maps like these.
Yep.
Just
So
fantastic.
I think that wraps up the map preview. Wouldn't
Yep.
you say?
We're going to go ahead and flip on over to the last segment, which is going to be the group reveal.
Oh, I thought that was the introduction for your stream. It's almost 5 o'clock. I think. Sorry, we gotta wait till.
No, we got to do this group reveal, man.
Oh, do
We're
we
gonna do
have
it.
to?
We do.
Do the
We
people
do.
really want to? Do they want to see
Don't.
these?
Were you gonna tease them?
Of course, I'm gonna tease them. I've been teasing them all day.
All right,
Trust
all
me,
right.
I've wanted to push this button for like 2 weeks.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure. All right. Well, are you ready to push said button?
Yes, let us push the button. You
Group
are
survey.
driving this. You are driving this pain train. So please
All right.
pick a starting point as victory.
All right. We're gonna go. Oops! It logged me out. Herp. Wait. Can I see it from my? Can I see it from my normal account, or do I have to use yours?
At the moment, you do still have to go through the
Okay.
back end and use
Let
mine.
me let
So
me
you know.
let me disappear this window so I don't reveal anything I shouldn't reveal.
Oh, thank you. I really don't
That
want
would be
them
a
to
good.
learn that my password is. Oh, Captain Weather joining us. Good to see you, Mr. Luke. It Yes, it's good to see, again, one of our judges there. All right, so while he's loading up, guys, we're going to try to go through this last section as quickly as possible because I do want Endless to be able to get to his preview, or sorry, his TTS Learn to Play. Sorry, I forget what I'm saying here. Um, you are going to see the groups here in just a moment. One of the things that I want you to keep in mind before you see them is that we did notice an issue today where a couple of the factions are not displaying correctly. It might have pulled your season 3 data if you had played with us before. And so if you see the wrong faction, don't worry about it. The factions are correct in your profile, but there was a disconnect between when the groups were drawn and your profile. So we have the correct one, or at least the one that you submitted when you readied up on file. And so if it's wrong, don't panic, don't worry. You have nothing to fix. It should be fixed by the time we start on Monday. And if you know that there's a mistake when you see this, just let your group members know when you get to your group Discord that, hey, it shows me as Imperial, but I'm actually a Rebel player. I'm looking at you, R1. Okay. Waiting for the stream to catch up. All right, so who are you starting us with?
Let me unhide the window.
Oh, and I believe we're drinking.
Again, my overlay keeps switching my settings. All right, so here's group 1. You ready for this? Group 1, Luke Cook.
Let's do it.
Luke Cook, GM Smithers, Intrigue, Azeron Bloodmoon, Tick Lord, and JJ's Juggernaut.
All right, so I gotta say, when I saw the groups, and of course, Group 1 US was the first one that I looked at. Luke was right there in the front. And again, guys, I don't have anything to do with these groups. I just heard the cats, and then Alderaan presses the button. And then whatever happens, happens. We don't do any adjustment afterwards. And so when I saw this group, the first thing I actually noticed was that the faction balance in this group is awesome. So that's cool to see. But then more importantly, we get our boy Luke here as the first one to get in this thing. So, this bracket, I actually am familiar with all these names on this group. We're going to see some new players mixed in with some experienced players. Overall, if we're talking about like predictions and stuff, of course, we do kind of naturally give Luke an edge, but at the same time, he only went 3-2 last time. So it's always possible that on these maps with these new units and this meta that we're still discovering, it's anybody's game. But I think a lot of eyes are going to be on group number 1 because of that.
Yeah, I think so too. We see chat's opinion has been registered.
Yeah.
Numerous.
Oh
Yeah.
man. I could sugarcoat it all I want, but that's what it is, guys.
But
So that is that is
Luke does point out that JJ's Juggernaut, he was an Armada World Champion in 2016, so he is no slouch at miniatures games. So he's going to draw his wealth of Armada experience to upset maybe Luke Cook's dreams here of getting
yep, and
into the top brackets.
That's an important thing to remember because that experience, in the heat of the moment when you're playing that finals match, honestly, that experience does go a really long way. So I'm very interested to see how this group.
All right, we got so much ground to cover. Group 2, Orchimedes, AG, Captain Cook, 68, Genghis John, Makeva, and N7X Ranger. So Orchimedes, Orchimedes stands alone, although I do recognize some of these names.
And notice that he stands alone as a Rebel player.
Yeah, Orchimedes joins as a Rebel. He does not register as Empire.
Yep.
He had a poll at Facebook, wanted him to play Republic, and he then just said, well, I'm just going to let the Discord bot decide, because I guess he didn't really want to play GAR after all. So I mean, you gotta do it, man. But I guess he figures that GAR, I guess that registers his opinion on how GAR is going to fare in this tournament because of the lack of unit diversity.
I will point out that he did talk to me about playing droids, and he totally chickened out. So good luck.
All right, well, you know what? I'm sure he'll do fine. Whatever faction he plays, he'll do fine.
Probably, if he played Separatist, he'd probably just 10-0 the game.
I'm pretty sure that he's doing this for Jedi Luke. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. Oh, somebody pointed out something about people already have losses. That is kind of connected to that issue I talked about at the start of this this part of the episode. So if you do see like a tentative win-loss in there already, again, that'll get fixed up when we fix the disconnect between season 3 and season 4. So don't worry, it'll be fixed by the time.
Nope. All right, Group 3, Tower number 9, Starscream, Venture Squad, that's Ed, Tay, Nappa, and X Logre. Logre?
Mm-hmm. So this is another one that's a straight 50-50 mix between new people to Invader and people that have been here before. Starscream, you got the 2-time champ in there, my friend, so sorry, good luck. I'm sure you'll be fine. But I did think it was really funny that group number 1, group number 2, group number 3 had either previous Invader League winners in it or the world champ in Luke's case. So these first 3 groups, when I saw them drawn, I looked at them and I was like, yes, these guys are out of my way. And I was very happy. Not going to lie.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. People are kind of joking with Starscream in the chat. Yeah, I mean, I recognize the names I recognize, and I mean, it's gonna be a toss up. But I have some feelings about that group I'm not gonna share because I don't want to dash anyone's hopes. So we're gonna move on now to the 4th group. Let's see, we've got Garn, Darkling, KU Piranha, J Spade, and Jakias, and I am Craig. Am I? Number 9443. These are some very interesting names. So
this one actually is actually a very experienced group, although we might not be familiar with every single name. I believe everybody here has participated in an Invader season, I think except for Craig down there at the bottom. And so there's actually a decent amount of experience in this group. This is going to be a great one to watch. You've got 3 Imperials, 2 Rebels, and a droid player. And so I'm actually really excited to see who ends up at the top of this because, I'm not 100% sure how this one's going to shake out. I see that for some reason Jasius is already 0-5, so I'm sorry, buddy. The system did not like you when we drew it.
He joined.
It's not on your character or how you're going to do. I promise you'll probably do better than that.
He joined just to get swept.
Yeah, so sorry about that, my friend. But I'm excited for this one to shake.
Yeah, I agree with Ghostwalking. By the way, Kegu Piranha is a dark horse. All the 5280 guys, the guys at Mile High, they are sharp, and
Hmm.
they finished tied with New Legion in Team League, so they are good. Make no mistake. All right, group 5. We got a long way to go here. We got
Hmm.
Comrade, Rob Cop, Alpaz, Nocturnal Loner, the Fifth Trooper, and the Captain. Those are all
Yeah.
actually pretty. Those are names I know. I know all of these names. Alpaz I played in LVO. Comrade, of course, very well known player around the Discord. Jay, of course, from my very own Fifth Trooper crew. Nocturnal Loner, also someone I've seen around the Discords. These are people we know. That's going to be an exciting group 5.
And good luck to you, Nocturnal. I am joining you in the Confederacy this season, so hopefully you show those meatbags who's boss and take that group. You
The
better
one, the
together. So it's all
the one separatist player amidst the chaos.
up.
All right, group number
Garrett.
6. We got Dr. Rizzle,
Mm.
and then we have, let's see, Decaf, Reverend playing Republic, Odd Man Out, Xander, and Baffled by Reflected Light all playing Empire.
So on this one, you've got, I'd say, two pretty experienced players in the online scene. Dr. Rizzle has been kind of one of those behind the scenes guy who's actually been a huge help to me for LVO and Invader and Adepticon. He actually made a lot of graphics on the things that we've given out or that you've seen at some of these big tournaments. If you like the icons that are on the Discord tokens or the LVO tokens, that was actually the guy who has done all that for me. So David is a great guy. Love to see him coming back rocking the Rebels as he usually does. And then that's followed up by Decaf, who we had mentioned earlier
Yeah.
as one of the key players in the TTS Foundation. So
Also won
we're glad
the
he's able to join us.
also won the tournament at KublaCon.
Yes.
Yeah.
How could I forget?
Yeah. All right, group 7. Who kicked my dog? Azure, Mr. Tomnas. I'm sorry, Tomness. Accept 47, General Grievous himself, Hypno Kraken 1950. These are all the members of this group. I recognize Who Kicked My Dog and Azure. Of course, Azure won a local RPQ recently. Who Kicked My Dog is a very strong player as well. Who is General? I guess General Grievous decided to play himself in this group.
Yes, General Grievous. If you play Dooku, I'm actually going to be very disappointed, my friend.
Uh-huh.
I like looking at this group because it actually is 50% new factions. So I'm really excited to see if some of these newer factions can kind of rise to the top in these groups that have a higher density of the two new. Um, the two players that are listed on the top who kick, he actually made it to the final, not the final, but he made it to the single elimination last season and made a bit of a run. And then, as you had mentioned before, Acer had also, he's also done really well. He was at KublaCon. I believe he is also attending LVO this next year. So you've actually got a pretty decent amount of experience in those top two names. And then, as we always know, you never know what unknowns are going to kind of jump out at us and become the kind of that next big player on TTS. So
Right, we just don't know.
see how it goes.
We just don't know. You're absolutely right about that.
Zero said he in fact played Grievous yesterday, and he was playing Separatist led by Grievous. So you keep doing you.
All right, group 8. We got BG Moore, Quincy, Dead Meat XJ, Bleach Orange, AFI lead, I guess. I think it's AFI lead, and then Surfim 9223. I recognize BG Moore and Quincy and Dead Meat and Bleach Orange. I think they all played. They all played
Yes,
in
so
last season.
we have a lot of returners in Group 8. 4 out of 6 of them are returners that we've all seen before. BG Moore actually had that fantastic game in Season 2 against Bees. That was that huge comeback game that ended up, I think, in victory for Bees. I think it was.
Was that with the triple uplink snipers? That was crazy.
That was a crazy comeback. So I'm actually really happy to see BG return to the season. We expect great things out of him, and the rest of the group is Rebel dominated. You've got 3 Rebels, 2 Imperials, and a Gar player, and so you've actually got a fairly decent variety set up here. And of course, we'll see what happens.
I'm excited to see Quincy playing Gar. I think that's going to be really fun to see him back. I haven't seen him in a while. Okay,
I'm definitely looking for him to set the standard there.
Group 9, R1H4, at the top of that group, the man himself, playing Guess Who, Rebels. Uh, it seems like a number of people have faction switched to Rebels. Gee, I wonder why. We got Copes there, Claymore, Mr. Bob Shadow, Excalibur 1, and Stig, who is running us out with Separatists. So, again, Rebel heavy, but not a slew of different matchups for each of these Rebel players going on. In fact, if you're one of the Rebel players, you're going to have to play all 4 factions.
Yep. So you do have a pretty big variety in the group here, even though the Rebel Red is pretty easy to kind of overshadow. Every faction is represented here. R1 did very well with Rebels at the end of YBTL. He pulled in a couple victories for my team, and so we know what reason he's probably running the Rebels this season. But don't let that unfamiliarity with that army get you. He does have a lot of experience with it already, even though he's a known PAL player. And, he's definitely kind of my highest threat when I look at this bracket.
All right, we got Group 10 here. We got Ben. Everybody knows Ben, the streamer, the personality. Hustlin' Fett, who's, I think, a highly rated player out of the East Coast, I think Central East Coast area. The Blood Phoenix, Busey Mafia Don, who recently subbed to this channel. Thank you, dude. Onto the table at $35.99, and Zanal, who is Daniel Lupo. Oh boy, Daniel Lupo is going to be coming and joining us very shortly during our Learn to Play. This will be his first game on TTS,
and
you guys are going to get to see.
Yeah, so this is the first time he's actually joined us in the Invader League. So we're happy to have you, man. Thank you for, putting your faith in us and joining us this season. Hopefully you enjoy the format. Overall, this group, I think, is secretly stacked. I think you're going to see, hopefully, a close set of matches here. And maybe this will be one of those groups where there's some 3-2 finishers that make it into the final because it was just that close between these 6 players. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to how this one scrapes out.
I'm gonna be curious if Daniel gets slowed down at all by TTS. We'll see if his domination continues. Group 11, we got Barer playing Republic. Yes, Nerfly, Samurai Man, Dark Waves, Frog Trigger, and Technophobia in Group 11. Let's see. So Barer, of course, Nerfly are well known. Barer likes to play crazy stuff. Nerfly, much more conventional Empire player, very methodical, very tactical. Samurai Man, I played him in Team League and he kicked my ass with a rush down kind of Palpatine style. He played like a Palt Boba and just like walked across the board and tabled me. It was pretty bad. And then I don't recognize Dark Waves, Frog Trigger, or Technophobia, but I think they're newer players.
So this is once again kind of a 50-50 split between the two. All 3 of the top have been around the Discord, and they all help or participate in their various ways. We talked about a lot about Nerf at the beginning because of what he does, helping us with the maps and all that. But I'm actually really interested to see how his games shake out in this bracket because he will be rocking Vader once again. He always rocks the big man, and the big man is cheaper, and the big man is also in leaner operative form. So yeah. I can't wait to see how Nerfly uses him, and I hope we get some of those games streamed.
Yeah, Operative Vader and Luke are going to be the big things to look out for on the Rebel and Imperial side to shake things up. I mean, Tauntauns were already like causing havoc, and now we got Operative Luke and Vader on top of everything else to deal with, on top of GAR and on top of Separatists. So that's going to be pretty crazy. Group 12, we got Bread Wizard, the Wizard of Wheat,
the Wizard of Wheat,
the Sorcerer of Sourdough, Karma 5. Also, that's Ben's co-caster, Zeus Juice. I'm going to call him Zeus Juice because that's hilarious. Griffin from Legion Academy and the 312th in Chicago, not Boston. Good lord. Perforin and Goblox 001001 in that league as well.
When I saw this group drawn, Zeus, my heart goes out to you. Good luck, my friend, because that is a lot of red defense dice you're going to have to deal with. Save the dream, save the rebellion, my friend. Good.
He's going to need some of that Zeus juice against this group. He really is, because I mean this group is pretty stacked. I mean Rodonk is really good, Griffin's good, They're all going to be given a problem. But again, it's like it's one rebel in a sea of empire. This is literally my worst nightmare. Is like just me as rebels and everyone else plays empire, and it's just like aggressive tactics shores. Just
You
give me
see all those
nightmares.
Imperials and one rebels, and you know where this is going.
Yeah, you know where this is going. All right, Group 13. We got Dashes from Notorious Scoundrels heading us up. We got Madman Rambler, who I also lost to last season, which is terrible. We got Zero Moon 17, who I saw in the chat just a moment ago. Endrantz as at 828. Yeah, Endrantz 828. The Clever Calevra, and JC Stiggy.
Yep. So again, kind of a mix of experienced players near the top of the bracket and newcomers on the bottom. You'll notice that this bracket is very rebel heavy with 4 out of 6 bringing rebels this time. No new faction this once, and our boy Dash repping the rebels this time instead of his usual Imperials. I thought he'd be taking advantage of Vader this season, but the lure of the Tauntaun has brought him to the Rebel Alliance, it looks like.
The chat registering its displeasure with this turn of events. I'm also displeased. It's like, man, I was Empire first. Get off my lawn. Oh, Dash says that he's Empire. It's just messed up. All right, got it.
Okay. All right. So we got a 50-50 split here. That does make me feel better.
Okay, we got it.
All right, good.
Okay,
well,
all is forgiven.
You don't deserve the 2 losses we gave you off the bat then.
Yeah, all is forgiven. All right, so that is your group: Dash, Madman Rambler, Zero Moon, Endurance, Clever Calevra, and JC Stiggy.
All right, get ready for Group 14.
Group 14?
Because Group 14 is going to be...
Oh, wow. This is going to be a pseudo group of death right here.
Yes.
Group 14, Nash G, Stevens, Stabcast Tim, Mitrokeen, Caldeus, and Gothound. That is a stacked group right there.
I want to talk about that top 4 in that group. That top 4 group is going to be a bloodbath. Now, Caldeus and Gothound at the bottom might come out and surprise me because I don't know them. I haven't seen them play. But when I saw those first 4 names, I said, good luck. Glad I'm not in that group because these guys are going to tear each other apart. And it's going to be glorious. And you've got, streamers and other people in there that will get these matches recorded. So we're going to be able to see the bloodbath firsthand. And I am very excited about that. I did kind of have to laugh when I saw this draw because Nash J and Mithrkin play each other all the time.
Yeah, they're local
both
to
from
each
your
other.
area. Yeah, you can probably actually explain that better than me.
No, they're both from the Bay Area, and I see them at tournaments every so often, and Nima and I play quite a bit. So yeah, it's it's Stevens' Rebels. Oh man, okay, so Stevens did go Rebels. He didn't go Empire, so it's like an all Rebel group. Man, the I gotta say, man, the Tauntauns, the Rebel armor is gonna be flying thick and fast in that group.
So if Tim is the only true Imperial in here, good luck, man. You got.
Which rebel can outskew the other to victory?
Yeah, well, and that's the fun thing with knowing your opponent's faction. The mind games are going to be real on this.
Oh yeah, you're gonna see some crazy stuff.
Okay, so I know I hyped up Group 14, but get your drum roll ready for Group 15. We have the true group of death, the one that's really going to suck for our own David Zelenka. We have Huff, we have Endless, we have Chaplin, we have Deco, we have Thrawn, and we have G-Bread. Almost every single person has made it into some top-tier event and is regarded as a great player. Sucks for you, my friend, but damn is this bracket going to be fun to watch.
This is the true group of death here. I mean, Deco Puma, Dustin Fran, he's been great since the game came out. Thrawn, Thrawn's got a lot of spirit. He's a really good player on top of that, and he's very he's hungry for victory, man. He's ready to make a name for himself. And then Chaplin's been proven in a number of seasons, and G-Bread, I haven't played him yet, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to give me some good games. I mean, Hofburger, what can I say? I mean, it's Hofburger.
And, you can't make this stuff up. Again, if you want to point the finger at the guy that pressed the button, it is not me. It is Alderaan who drew these groups. But, man, you couldn't have made up the stories in this one. This is going to be a tight group. This is going to be a competitive one. And I am sure that the players that come out of this one are gonna make a run when we get to that single elimination. So I look forward to seeing how these members do. May the best two in this group win this whole thing.
3 do-backs, I guess.
Triple do back time.
All right, here we go. It's enough of that. I was gonna say a bunch of mean things about Hofberger, but I've thought better of it. All right, Sploosh. There you are, Sploosh.
Sploosh
with bees and ghost walking.
Sploosh, bees, ghost walking. This is actually kind of my sneaky good group as well. This is one of the ones that I pegged that's going to be a mess because Sploosh and Ghost Walking are going to have to duke it out. And if you're not familiar with those two, it is a little bit of a civil war, guys. So when I saw this group, again, you can't make this stuff up. The random generator decided that these two friends were going to have to duke it out, and here it is.
They say truth is stranger than fiction. All right, folks, we're more than halfway through this bracket preview. We're coming down to the last few groups in the United States. Group 17, we got Huntsman, Ken02's TalkPolite. That's you, a bunch of nobodies. Are you kidding me? Maynolt from the Republic. Sword Folly, I know him. That's Graham. He does terrain. He's really good at terrain. Playing Republic and Abominable Wampa to round it out with Empire here. I gotta say, man, you have some competition in this group. I think Ken02 and Huntsman specifically, and Sword Folly is also
definitely
really good too. Graham is good as well.
I don't think I necessarily have an easy path to finals myself. I've omitted playing in the last 2 seasons, but I told myself, a lot of people had worries about running Sis in the round robin phase because of how easily they can be countered. And so I decided that that's the hat that I'm going to wear this season to try to lead from the front and see that problem up front. And that might help inform decisions that I make in later seasons of the Invader League. So I'm really excited to see how my group plays out because we've got some new players to this, but also a lot of experience in those top 3. And then I actually kind of had to laugh myself because you know who Graham is. Graham was the guy that I traded clone corsets with.
Ah, okay.
So I play Graham about once a month at some of our local stores.
There you go.
And so similar to Mithro and Nash, we had a good laugh about this already. We're gonna have to play each other on the tabletop battlefield, online battlefield as well. So nice. It should be fun.
So this is Group 18. We've got Traumadog42, Hot and Frosty, who I believe was on stream a couple times last season. Zrob314, Lunta, the Jess Man himself, Zeke Squad, and Spartan Fury.
So I do actually have to mention that we did have a last-minute drop in Lunta today. Some things changed the schedule, so he's actually not joining us.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I'll make sure to contact the person that's going to be replacing him, so you will actually see a different player on there, and that adjustment should happen hopefully after the show.
All right. Group 19. Kodak. Yes, Code Castramus. And KSU Jones, Red 5, Rain, Pagona Barbata, and Zenzi. The only name I really recognize from this list are Kodak and Red 5 and Rain. Those are the 3 that I recognize.
Rain's actually kind of my sneaky peek to win this one because I've actually played him a couple times on TTS, and he's really not too bad. So I'm kind of giving him a bit of an edge in this one. Kodak as well, but that's mostly because I know him. This could be one where we see a player to come out of the woodwork and surprise us and join us on the the TTS Nationals.
Oh wait, was Red 5 Jace? Is that who that is? Never mind. I could be wrong. Maybe it might be Jace. Yeah. Anywho, that's all I know about that group, and I think Kodak. I met Kodak in person, and he's really awesome party guy, and he's really cool, and I think he'll do well. I think he'll do really well. We play Outer Rim. It was fun. Okay, so that's gonna do it for the United States. We got yes. Okay, I know him now. So that's Andrew. Yeah, I played him round. He played round 2. Yeah, that was tough. That was a tough game. I nearly lost that game. That was really close. My whole tournament would have been destroyed if I had lost that game. Okay, so we're gonna move on to Australia. Let's do Australia. Why not?
Why not?
He kicked me out again.
Oh, we're so close to finishing.
I know. All right, let me
Thank you guys
We'll
who have
log
stayed
back
with us
in.
so far. I'm actually pretty sure we're at a record number of views for a TTS event. So thank you guys for joining us. This is the first of its kind as far as us doing something for this Invader League. So I'll take a moment while Endless gets his ducks in line. Thank you for joining us, guys. We're so close to being done with this, but appreciate everybody who stuck through thus far. And for the AS crowd and the EU crowd, we're going to catch up to you here in a sec. Take it away. Mm-hmm.
I'm muted again. My God.
Oh no!
This is so aggravating. It's like whenever I change screens or something, like it mutes my microphone. I don't understand why OBS does this. Anyhow, I was gonna say it's Beefcake, Kolky, Pope, ZN6, Heinze, and Inquisitor Redmayne. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Bucket. God bless you.
Oh, wreck.
Ouch, ouch.
I do want to highlight this group because we do have the dual droids represented in there, and some new players we haven't seen play online in the TTS scene. So we could see some new people jump to the top here, and we do have our boy Beefcake we were talking about earlier that's in there as well. So I would look for him to make another run in this tournament, and then maybe somebody we haven't seen before to bump to the top.
Rebel Flamer's getting attached as we speak. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's look at the second AS group.
Is that correct that Beefcake is Rebels? Is that right?
If he's not here to defend himself, I'm going to have to say yes.
Okay. I don't think he is here to defend himself.
All right, then carry on.
All right, other half of Australia. Here we go. Zyconia, Master of the Force Luke, James Brett, Tyrion, Quino75, and Brendan Morrissey. Is this the Oust group of death? Is this what we call it? If one of them had to be the group of death, so
I would say so. I think
Yeah.
we know more names in this group than the other one, which by default makes the group of death. Zyconia and Beefcake did not both make it in the same group, and they were both two very high scorers last time. So good that the system luckily split them up this time. Luke kind of lamenting his fate by being in the same bracket as Zyconia. I believe in you, my friend. You can do it.
Luke, I know you can do it. No sweat, man. You got this. You got this, man. But no, that's right, Bucket. James Brett, Zirconia, and Luke are all excellent players. Tyrion as well is no slouch. I have played Tyrion and lost to him multiple times. And then I'm not familiar with Quino or Brendan, but I think they'll still give us a good show.
Mm-hmm.
If and when they do make it to stream, that is one of the harder things to do is stream Australian games.
And one of the things I want to point out here before we move on, Tyrion might actually be representing the droids this season. I think that Imperial was a pull from last season, so we might actually have the full variety, full gauntlet in that group, and we'll have to wait for the groups to form for him.
Okay, so here is Europe number 1. Ellis, Finn, Thomas, Super Nerd, Cupcake Hunter, and Raven KS, who also goes by Shakoza Cast on the Discord. That's going to be a hot group to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm digging
You've
this
got your
group
UK national winner in here. Ellis, of course, the guy who run it, has made several very deep runs in the tournament.
I mean, he'll make a deep run if he doesn't put snipers in the open in front of Veers.
Oh, the disrespect! I love.
Anyway, Thomas, please bring back the T-47, please. Now that they've been reduced in cost, I want to see you play. I want to see you play T-47s with the discounts. That's what I want, man. It says you register as Empire though, so oh well.
Rip.
Super Nerd, one of our Discord admins, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know more about him than me.
He had been on the admin team last season. He wasn't on the admin YBTL this season, but he was last season. He's been around. He's played a lot. He's one of those guys that's actually always working super hard for me in the background. So, I'm excited to see how he does kind of on this larger stage once again. And this group kind of is stacked when you think about it. So I hope he can.
Yeah, I hope he can make it through. He says he's playing Separatist. Okay, well,
Okay.
when we fix the bugs, that will be reflected.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Next thing, Europe 2. We got Nikki Myland, Raptor Ritter making a return. Arskull, SW Legion, Denmark. Don Parazoma, Dark Ace, and GG202.
All right.
I don't know those first two names. Nikki, the big bikes player, probably going to do Shores now. Raptor Ritter says he's playing Republic. I have no idea what his plans are. But that is your group 2 right there. And yeah, people are joking that if Nikki can get off WoW long enough, maybe he can actually win. Yeah,
Oh, they're not wrong.
I know the feeling. They're not wrong. Okay, the very last group we're going to reveal. Alder and Moses. Dennis, SWL Denmark. I'm pretty sure that's, the other half of that Denmark team. Ringmaster 80, Blue Rat, AJST, and JN_Eastwood to round out Group 3 of the Invader League here. And I'm not sure who to root for. I actually don't know the skill levels of any of these players, believe it or not.
Taking a look at this here, I mean, Alderaan actually pulled home a couple victories at the UK national event. He's given himself a 0-4 handicap, so he must not want to totally destroy.
Yeah.
I believe Dennis was actually one of the top 4 from the UK nationals as well. I don't remember if that was Johannes or not, but he was one of the top players. Ringmaster also was one of the top players at the Italian GT, and AJST has also made it and made a splash in Invader Leagues before. So he is a veteran of this tournament as well. So you've actually got, again, kind of a sneaky experienced group here, and we just don't get the same kind of exposure to these guys as we would normally because they're on a different time zone. But overall, I think they're in a great position to, win some games and impress.
All right. Well, that is all the group reveals that we have for you. They're live now, right? You can actually go to the Invader League website and take a look.
They will be live in a moment. I need a couple minutes to push some buttons, and if for some reason I don't push buttons good enough, they might not show up tonight, but I will try to let everybody know on Discord if that process was able to complete correctly. I'll need a couple minutes to test it and make sure all good to go, and I think I'm going to fix some of those couple player errors that we talked about before. But otherwise, guys, be on the lookout. I'm going to go assign judges here once I'm done talking as well. So your judges should be reaching out to you soon to let you know, hey, your private group Discord is ready. Come on in, start scheduling your matches. So be on the lookout for that as well.
All right. Well, thank you, TalkPolite, for being here today on the show, and it's going to be a ride, man. I'm really excited. Those maps look great. The groups are going to be solid. We're going to have a lot of opportunities to learn to play better and to chat about Legion and just have fun overall.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man.
I got no more to say, man. We just talked for an hour and a half.
I think we're golden. Okay.
The proverbial bottle has been broken.
Y'all out there in Streamland, thank you so much for tuning in today. Awesome. We're going to go into a little be right back stream. We're going we're gonna vamp a little bit before we start the learn to play. I'm gonna get Daniel online. We're gonna keep the stream open for at least a little while. Probably take about 5 to 10 minutes to get that rolling. We're going to take a little bit of a break and then get going into that. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Bucket. And we will see you all next time. It's going to be in about 5 or 10 minutes. We'll see you back here. Thanks again.
All right, and I'll see you on Monday.
Yeah, you will.
Gentle whispers in the past. I'll be
That the brothers on the rise now. Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business so humongous, you would think that happens in it. Damn man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Looking for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have him yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Facts, lot of haters. Tell me where they at, though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap, though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Woo! Everybody wanna do the same thing, yup. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah. I'm going mainstream. Damn. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream.
Alright, everybody. I am back, but we're gonna restart the stream really quickly, just to get the VOD to tick over. It's gonna help me edit later. So, stay tuned, we're just gonna restart the stream, I'll be right back.